Okay, hello Viet Ang. Hello Viet Ang.
Việt
Can you
Anh
hear me?
ơi, Việt
And
Anh
who
Ngọc
else
Kiên
is
ơi con.
there? Not
Việt
Kian.
Anh Ngọc Kiên ơi, con bật mic nói chuyện với thầy, bật cả camera nói chuyện với thầy đi con.
Oh, hi.
À đấy, đúng rồi, ok.
Okay, everyone, please turn your cameras on. I can see you. Hello, Not Kian. How are you?
Maybe I'm fine.
Good. Hello, Fung Ling. Fung Ling, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Is it hot today?
Yes, it's really hot today.
Okay. Hello, Viet Ang.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, good to hear you. Hello, Kang Ling.
Hello,
Hello, Kang Ling. How are you?
I'm still good. How about you?
Okay. Okay, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Hello, Bao Ling.
Hello, teacher.
How are you, Bao Ling?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Hello, Trami.
Hi, teacher.
How are you, Trami?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Actually, it's been very cold here today. This morning when I went outside, I'd left some clothes out on the washing line overnight, and this morning they were frozen. They were frozen when I went to check on them. So I had to wait for them to thaw out, to unfreeze before I could dry them. So yes, very cold here at the moment. I guess the opposite of what you're having in Hanoi. Okay, so it's after past, so I think we will start. I'm not sure if anyone else is coming or not, but we will start anyway. So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. Okay, everyone, well, welcome to class for the new term. It's great to see you all again, and let me say again just how wonderful it was to meet you face to face in Hanoi a month or so ago. It was great to get to meet you and to talk with some of you a little bit more, and yeah, help me to understand and get to know you a little bit better. And I hope you got to know me a little bit better too. So before we start, does anyone have any questions for me? Any questions? Okay. What we are going to be doing today, in fact, I'll tell you for the next few lessons what's going to happen. So today we are going to be doing speaking. Okay, we're going to be reviewing some of the things we did in the last lesson we had in Hanoi at Mrs. Ha's house. Next week, we will be going to writing task 1. Now I'm going to go right back to the beginning with this because we haven't done this for a while. So just to review how you do writing task 1, I have a lot of different tips and suggestions for you. And then, so we're going to be working our way through some writing task 1 exercises. The week after that, 2 weeks from today, we won't have a lesson, okay, because I'm going to Thailand and I will be traveling on that day. 2 weeks from today, I will be traveling to Thailand. So for that week, I will give you an assignment to do. So you can do an assignment instead of the class, and you can send the assignment to me. And the assignment will be doing a writing task 1. And then after that, for the next few weeks, I will be in Thailand. So I will be doing the lessons from Thailand. So that's our program for the next few weeks. So today, as I said, we're going to be concentrating on speaking, and we're going to be reviewing what we discussed in our last lesson in Hanoi, which I know was, well, 4 weeks ago now, 4 or 5 weeks ago. So I know some of you might have forgotten. So we're going to review what we did during that lesson. Okay, so first of all, though, I have a new warm-up exercise for you, which I'm going to show you now. It's annoying, I can't see that very well. So could move it over here. Okay, so can everyone see the worksheet for today? Try me. Can you see lesson 37?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you, Try me. So the first thing we're going to be doing today, everyone, is the word ladder game. Okay, we're going to be doing this for a warm-up for, well, this lesson, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do it for a few more lessons. So, Rami, can you read for me the first sentence, please?
Yes, widen your vocabulary and learn how to use it. Read and listen to English 10 minutes every day.
Thank you, Trami. So remember, I said this to everyone at the end of our last lesson in Hanoi. To get better at English, one of the keys is to learn more words, to widen your vocabulary. In the Ielts test, if you ever read the Ielts test, what you have to do, they talk about lexical resource. Lexical resource. All that lexical resource means, it's a very formal way of saying how many words do you know? Okay, how big is your vocabulary? So you need to be widening your vocabulary all the time. During these classes, we don't concentrate so much on learning lists of new words, because personally, I think that's very boring. Trying to learn a list, just a list of words, is very difficult to remember and very boring. Of course, we will learn new words during the course of the lesson, but the easiest way for you to learn new words is to read and listen to some English, and 10 minutes every day. Okay, is much better than 60 or 70 minutes just once a week. Try to do something every day. Read or listen to something in English to help you widen your vocabulary and to make you familiar with the way that words are used. Does anyone have any questions about that? So vocabulary is one of the keys to doing well in IELTS or any English test. You have to have a wide range of words and know how to use them. And again, as I mentioned, in the IELTS test, they call this lexical resource. So all that means is just how many words do you know? Okay, so today we're going to be starting with the word ladder game. The word ladder game. So some of you might have played this before. I'm sure some of you haven't. So I will show you how it works. Then we will have a try. So what you have to do is look at two words, the starter word and the destination word. Now you will see that both these words have the same number of letters. So what you have to do is to change one letter in the starter word so it makes a new word, and then change one letter in that word so it makes another new word. And then you have to see if you can get to the destination word in as few steps as possible. All right, so you can see I've given you an example here. I've given you an example. Viet An.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Viet An, what is the destination word? The example I've given you. See the line that says example here?
Live to cake.
Live, yes, live to cake. So
Live.
live is the starter word, sorry, and cake is the destination word. By the way, Viet An,
Yes.
yeah, Viet An, how else can you pronounce this word, by the way? Live. You can also pronounce it another way. How is that? Do you know?
No.
Nok Kian. Hello, Nokian.
Teacher.
Yeah, Nokian. So this word here, okay, you can pronounce it live. What is another way you can pronounce it? L-I-V-E. L-I-V-E.
Live.
Yeah, live is one pronunciation. What is the second pronunciation? You know?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I can guess this situation.
Okay, Feng Ling. Feng Ling.
Yes.
Okay. L-I-V-E. What are the two ways you can pronounce this word?
Live and live.
Correct. Thank you. Live and live. Live and live. Okay, Viet An? Viet An?
Yes.
Okay, so live and live. This word can be pronounced two different ways. And the only way you know which one is correct is by the context of the sentence that the word is in. I've said this many times, many English words have two meanings and two pronunciations, just depending on the sentence that you are using them in. So in this case, you could pronounce it either way, live to cake or live to cake. Both those words, by the way, have two different meanings. I won't worry about that for the moment, otherwise we will get too far behind. Okay, so thank you, Feng Ling. Kang Ling, Kang Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling, can you see how this game works? Can you see how it works? So live, all right, is our starter word. Okay, all right. The second word here, live, you change one letter. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and what is the second word?
I love.
Love. Okay, and then you change one letter again. What is this word? Kang
Lose.
Ling? Lose. Okay, then you change one letter again. Okay, and what does it become?
Lost.
Lost. Okay, then you change one letter again, and what does it become?
Yes, cause.
Correct. Now remember, our destination word is cake. So all the time we're looking to try make up words that will lead us to the word cake. So we're trying to look for letters. Okay, so this is the first word that we've been able to make that begins with one of the letters of cake. Does that make sense, Kang Ling?
Yes.
Okay, so we've had live, love, lose, lost, cost. So each time we're only changing one letter. And of course, each time the word has to make sense, okay? It has to be a proper word. Has to be a proper word. Bao Ling, Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the next word after cost?
Cost.
Correct. So you can see now we have two letters that make up the word cake, which is the word that we are aiming for. Okay, so now it's becoming a bit easier. What is the next word, Bowling?
Case.
Case. Okay, so now we have C, A, and E. Okay, so it becomes very easy now to make the last word, which of course is cake, and that is our destination word. So you can see it's taken us 7 steps to get from live or live to cake. Does that make sense to you, Trami?
Yes.
Okay, so you think you understand how the game works?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to try this now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the whiteboard in just a moment, and we will write down your suggestions. I'm going to ask each of you in turn to give me a word that is going to lead me from bat to sun. Okay, so hang on, I will share the whiteboard with you. So from bat to sun. Now I have tried this. We should be able to do this in 5 steps. Okay, in 5 steps to get from bat to sun. So again, just to remind you, to get from live to cake took us 7 steps. But bat and sun have only 3 letters each, so it should be a little bit easier. Should be able to do this in 5. All right, so Okay, so the first word here. Okay, tra me.
Yes.
Okay, can you give me a word, please? Okay. So we're going from bat to sun. So remember, I'm sure you know, I'll explain though for everyone else. Remember, each time you give me a word, you can only change one letter. One letter. What do you think, Trami?
It's a.
What is the word, Trami? You have to give me a word.
I changed the letter A and it is being but.
But, okay. Trami chooses but. Thank you, Trami. Actually, I should write this down here. So our target word is sun. Okay. So but. Okay. Viet An.
Yeah, teacher.
All right. Give me a word, please. Viet An.
I think T to the N. Bun.
Bun. Okay. Okay. Not Kian.
Yes.
Okay. What is your word? Not Kian?
Maybe translate to B to S.
Okay. And so what is the word?
Sun.
Correct. Okay. Well done. Easy one to start with. Very good. So we did that actually in 4 steps. Very good. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. Fung Ling, you're going to be first this time. All right. This time we're going from.
That
Okay.
bit
Bed to sit. Sorry, what is your next word?
letter E to I. E to I. Bit.
Okay. Hang Ling.
I will change D to T in bit.
Sorry, can't quite hear Kang Ling. What are you change? What is the word?
I will change B D to B. No, D to T. Yes. Bit.
Okay, very good. Bao Ling.
I changed the word into sit. Sit, yeah.
Okay, very good. Did it in 4 steps. Okay, so thank you, everyone. So now you know how this works. So we will do the same thing next week, and I'll make it a little bit harder. Okay, so these were fairly simple examples, but you all did very well. So now you understand how the word ladder works. Ladder, of course, you are climbing from one word to the next word. All right. Does anyone have any questions about this game? So this will be our warm-up from now on that we're going to use. Okay. Right. Let's go back to this. All right. So hopefully you remember last time in our lesson, we looked at the past, present, future tactic for answering speaking test part 2. Try me. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just describe to me how it works, Trami? Very simply.
It's like you. When in speaking part 2, you.
Yes.
Describe something in the past and present, and next is future.
Okay, good. All right. So thank you, Trami. That basically is how past, present, future works. To those of you who've maybe forgotten, you can use this technique to help you fill up the 2 minutes. Remember, in speaking test part 2, you have to talk for 2 minutes. Sometimes students have trouble thinking of enough things to say to fill up 2 minutes. Sometimes, okay? Past, present, future is a very simple way of giving you ideas of how to fill up the 2 minutes. So you can talk about something that happened in the past, something that's happening now, and something you would like to do in the future. However, there is a problem with this, and that is that it won't work for every topic. Okay? Past, present, future, or PPF. If you go online or ever look on the internet, you will see there's a lot of writing about this. PPF as a tactic. It is okay for some topics, but not for every topic. So, for example, Viet Ang.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, can you please read out from describe, please? Can you please read this sentence?
Describe person you know who is kind. You should say who it is, how you know this person, what sort of person you think she is, and explain why you think they are kind.
Kind. Good reading, Viet An. Very good. Okay, so this is an example of a part 2 topic that PPF, past, present, future, doesn't work with. Okay, because very simple, it's hard to explain in the future about how you will meet someone who is kind. Okay, you could talk about someone who you used to know who is kind, maybe one of your grandparents, for example. You could talk about someone who you know now who is kind, maybe your parents or one of your friends. Bit hard to talk about someone being kind in the future when you haven't met them yet. I guess you could maybe say, if I met someone in the future, I would like them to be kind and I would like them to do this for me. But it's a little bit difficult. Not Kian, does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so PPF, again, everyone, past, present, future, is one tactic, one strategy for being able to fill up 2 minutes, but it doesn't work with every topic that you might get. However, it will work with topics like these. So what I'm going to get you to do now is just to practice doing PPF, okay, on each of these topics. Okay, so I'm going to ask each of you in turn. So the first one is Feng Ling.
Yes.
Can you read out this paragraph, please?
Describe a language you have learned, a language you learned in the past, the language you are learning now, and a language you would like to learn in the future, and a sentence about each one. Teacher, to give example.
Teacher to give example. That's me. So I'm going to give you an example now. So everyone, I hope you can see that PPF can be used with this topic. Okay, very easy to look at a language you've learned in the past, a language you're learning now, and a language you'd like to learn in the future, and give me a sentence about each one. So my example is a language that I've learned in the past is French. When I was at high school, when I was your age, I studied French. A language I'm learning now, particularly because I'm going there in 2 weeks, I'm practicing learning my Thai language because, of course, it will be useful, very useful when I'm in Thailand to be able to talk to the local people. A language I would like to learn in the future is Vietnamese, because then I can talk to you a lot more easily. Okay, so you can see I've given you a sentence about a language I've learned in the past, French. I've given you a sentence about a language I'm learning now, Thai, and I've given you a sentence about a language I'd like to learn in the future, Vietnamese. Does that make sense, Kang Ling?
Yes, of course.
Okay, Kang Ling. So everyone, I will give you just a minute or so to work on this. This shouldn't be hard. I only want one sentence from each of you. One sentence, a language you've learned in the past. One sentence, a language you're learning now. One sentence, a language you're learning in the future. Okay, Kang Ling, I'm going to start with you, but I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it. All right?
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to do this very easily, all of you. You should be able to do this off the top of your head. This is an English idiom, by the way. Most of you should be familiar with it, but off the top of your head means without thinking about it. If you can do something off the top of your head, means you don't need to think about it. Before we start, I'll just check to see if anyone else has joined our class. Tran Bao. Hello, Tran Bao.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Tran Bao. Can you turn your camera on so I can see you, please?
Yeah, you can see me.
Okay, I can see it. Well, I can see some of you. I can see the bottom half. Okay, Tran Bao, welcome to class. Now, Tran Bao, I'm not sure how long you've been listening for. Do you understand what I'm asking everyone to do?
Yes,
Great. You understand?
Yes, I
Okay,
understand.
that's great. Okay. Kang Ling, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, whenever you're ready, please talk to me.
Okay. I will start now.
Yes.
Okay. A language I have learned in the past in my mother tongue is Vietnamese. And now I'm learning English because I think that it will helpful for my futures. And in the futures, I want to learn something different, Chinese, because I want to travel to China. So yes.
Because you want to travel to China.
Yes. Go travel.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Kang Ling. Okay, thank you. You only made one mistake, by the way, only one little mistake. Instead, you put an S on future. That doesn't need an S. You said to me in the futures. In the futures, you said. It should be in the future. In the future. Doesn't need an S. Okay, but that was just a small mistake, Kang Ling. Don't worry, very small mistake, but that was good. Now, everyone listening to Kang Ling, you will have heard what she did, okay? Kang Ling gets 2 thumbs up because Kang Ling gave an example each time. Very important when you're doing any sort of speaking test like this to give an example. Otherwise, Kang Ling could just have saying, well, a language I've learned in the past is Vietnamese. Okay, but that's a bit boring and doesn't give you a chance to explain something. You need to be able to explain things with another sentence. Because, okay? Because that gives you a chance to show to the examiner or anyone who is listening how good your vocabulary is. And also, by the way, how good your use of tenses is. Because of course, if you're talking about something you've studied in the past, you're using past tense, present tense for present, and future, or present perfect for future events. Does that make sense to you, Bao Ling?
Yes.
Okay, Bao Ling, are you ready?
Yeah. When I studied at primary school, I start learning English, and now I still learning English because it's the most popular language that students have to learn to prepare for their future. And in the future, I would like to learn Japanese because Japan inspired me a lot about their culture and their traditional festival. So I would like to learn Japanese.
Okay, good use of future tense, Bao Ling. Okay, use of future tense was good. And also your reasons are fine too. You gave examples. Remember, everyone, it doesn't matter what your reasons are as long as you give one. Okay, your reason can be anything as long as you give one. So just one small mistake from you, Bao Ling. You said to me that you start learning English when you were young. Okay, has to be past tense, remember. Start is present tense. What should it be past tense?
Can you say it again?
Yeah, you said
It's a
to
bit-
me, I start learning English when I was young. Okay.
Started.
Yes,
Started.
started. Okay,
Yeah.
started is past tense. Yeah. What you said to me was, I start learning English when I was young. Okay, should have been, I started learning English. So this is good. Give everyone practice at using tenses. Does that make sense, Bowling?
Yes.
Okay, so Trami, you are next, please.
Yes. In the past, I had to learn mother language is Vietnamese, since it was a compulsory subject in primary and high school. But up to now, I am learning English, especially Ielts for my studying. And in the future, I want to try Korean because I really admire Korean people. So I want to learn it to easily interact with them.
Okay, perfect, Trami. 10 out of 10. Okay, your tenses were perfect. Okay, your grammar was perfect. Well done. Excellent. Okay, and also you gave reasons for each thing. That's great, Trami. Very good. Okay, next is Tran Bao. Tran Bao.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, are you ready, Tran Bao?
Yes.
Okay.
In the past, I have learned Korean since I was 10 my hobby, and now I learn English my IELTS test. And in the future, I will try to learn Russian.
Because remember, you need to give an example. You need to give an example. You did for the first two languages. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your example for the third language?
I think it's because I want to try new things.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, Tran Bao. That is fine. Okay. Just remember you have to give an example each time. Okay. Saying I want to try new things is fine. That's a reason. Just make sure you give a reason. Okay. And that's a good reason. That is fine. Does that make sense, Tran Bao?
Yes.
Okay, good. And the rest of your English was fine too. That's great. Okay. Viet Ang.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, please, Viet Ang.
Yes. In the past, I haven't learned Vietnamese because it's my mother tongue. Now I learn English because it's important to for me to travel anywhere, make a lot of friends. In the future, I think I maybe in Chinese. I think it's very exciting. Yes.
Okay, I think it's very exciting. Okay, that's good, Viet Ang. Very good. Good. Again, you gave an example for each one. That's very good. Not Kian.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, whenever you're ready, please, Not Kian.
In the past, I was learned Vietnamese to communicate with people around me. And up to now, I'm learning English to make sense of everything I learned on the internet. And maybe in the future, I will have some try with French because I think it's quite romantic and it's not far from the Latin alphabet.
Okay, very good. Quite romantic. That's a very good. That's a very interesting reason, Not Kian. Okay. Just one mistake, Not Kian. One mistake at the very start. for the first example, you said, in the past, I was learned. You said, I was learned. You don't need to say was, okay? Nokian?
Okay.
Okay, so the sentence should be, in the past, I learned. I learned English, or I learned Vietnamese, or I learned French. Okay, you said to me, I was learned. You don't need was. You don't need was, just I learned. In the past, I learned English, I learned Vietnamese. Okay, and the last one for this section, Phung Ling. Phung Ling.
Language I have learned in the past was Korean because in my middle school, Korean was a compulsory subject. Now I have learning English because I want to talk with you more. And language I would like to learn in the future is Japanese because my friends study there, so I want to travel to Japan to meet my friend.
Good, perfect reason. Good, excellent, that's good. Okay, everyone, so hopefully now, that was good. So you know how PPF works as a strategy or tactic, okay? You talk about something in the past, something in the present, and something in the future, and you give an example for each one. So most of you, by the way, talked for at least 20, 25 seconds using PPF and just giving me one example each. So you can see, I hope, how easy it would be in some topics to make PPF last for 2 minutes if you gave longer explanations for each one. Does that make sense, Phung Ling, to you? Okay. All right, so we're going to be doing this just with another couple of topics. Phung Ling, I'm going to start with you. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to think about this. I'm going to go backwards this time. Backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards in the order that I asked you. Okay, so you don't have to wait too long, hopefully. So Phung Ling, you were first, then Ngoc Kian, and then Viet Ang. So Phung Ling, do you want to think about this next one for a few seconds?
Yes.
You want to think for a few. So describe a house or apartment you would like to live in. So I want you to use PPF for this. So obviously you need to tell me about a house or somewhere you lived in the past. You need to tell me somewhere that you are living now, and then tell me, of course, somewhere you might like to live in the future. All right, and house or apartment, Phung Ling. So not a place, not a city or a country, a house or apartment. Let me know when you're ready, Phung Ling. And again, everyone, you shouldn't need to take too long to think about this. You'll be able to do this off the top of your head. Just one sentence. Remember, a one sentence example. While Phung Ling is getting ready, I can give you again a quick example. When I was young, I used to live in a different part of New Zealand in a house that was about 40 years old, but it was quite small, only had 3 bedrooms. Now I live in a house that is much newer. Okay, it's only about 10 years old, again has 3 bedrooms, but has 2 floors, 2 stories. In the future, I might like to live maybe in a place that's a little bit smaller because then I don't have to do so much housework. Okay, so there you are. Off the top of my head, I gave you a PPF for houses or apartments. Are you ready, Phung Ling?
Yes.
Okay, go.
In the past, I would like to live in a condominium, because the condo will have a elevator. Now I live in my house in Hanoi. Um, and in the future, I would like to live in a countryside because city is so annoying.
Okay, not bad, Fung Ling, but remember you need to talk about the house or the condo. Okay, so for example, you could say in the past, we used to live in a condo. Did you say it didn't have an elevator, Fung Ling?
It have an elevator.
It had an elevator. Okay, so you could say in the past, we used to live in a condo, which I liked because it had an elevator. Now the house I live in Hanoi, I like better because it has more room. In the future, I would like to live in a big house in the countryside with lots of room for all my children. Okay, see what I mean, Fung Ling?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to talk about the house or apartment and then give a reason why you would like to live in this place. Not Kian.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready, Not Kian?
Maybe.
Okay,
Well,
away you
when
go.
I was a young child, um, I I lived in a small house with in a small room. Mm, oh, well, I still at that house, but it was rebuilt bigger with four stage because my parents want me to have my own room and be independent. And maybe in the future, I want to move to the countryside, make a farmhouse, and live the days when I'm older.
Okay, okay, very good, Not Kian. Just your last sentence was a little bit confused. You said, in the future, I want to move to the countryside and live in a house to make my days when I am older. Okay, which doesn't quite make sense. You want to move to the countryside and live.
It's exactly make my day more
Yeah.
chill and relaxing.
Okay. Make my days more relaxing when I am older is the way to say it. Okay.
Okay.
Make my days more relaxing when I am older. But that was good, Noki, and you gave good reasons for each one. Okay. You gave a reason for each one, which is good. You can even make it a bit shorter, Noki, and you can just say, in the future, I would like to live in a house in the countryside. Okay, because I like living in the country. You could say that. All right, so remember, it doesn't have to be too complicated. Again, I will mention this to you often. Keep it simple, just to keep it simple. That way you don't make mistakes.
Okay.
Any questions, not Kian, about what I have said?
No, teacher.
Okay, good. Viet Ang, you are next.
Yes, teacher. In the past, I would live in an apartment, and this future, I live in a house because I think it's more convenient than apartment. And future, I think I want to live villa in a modern house and have a technology to do my job.
Okay, good. Except you gave me two futures, Viet Ang. Okay, you said your middle one. You also said in the future, I want to live in a house. Okay, whereas you need to say now. Now I live in a house. Now I live in a house.
Now, yes.
Yeah, now I live in a house. Then in the future, the one you did about the future was correct. In the future, I want to live in a villa. Okay,
Yes.
that was good. Okay, so just remember to say now I live in a house which is very comfortable. But in the future, I would like to live in a villa. Okay. Does that make sense, Liet Ang?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. Okay, San Bao.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, whenever you're ready, please, Tran Bao.
So now finish.
Sorry, Tran Bao, I can't hear you. Can you start again, please?
Yeah. So the past, this wasn't important to think how your apartment should like because I was too young to think about it. And now, although I live in a big house, but if I live in an apartment, I want it to look like my room with a bit more space to place toilet, kitchen, and hall. And in the future, I want my apartment look more with a control of AI because I think we in the future might be too lazy to turn off. And
Okay.
Like
Okay.
or something else.
Okay, thank you, Tran Bao. Unfortunately, your signal was not very good, so I could only hear every third or fourth word. When those ones sounded fine, but I couldn't hear all of that. Sorry, Tran Bao. But what I did hear sounded okay, so that's good. All right, but yeah, your voice was breaking up, or is breaking up a little bit over your connection. Okay, Trami.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready, Trami.
Yes. When I was a child, I used to live in a small house with a big garden, but now I am living in a 4-level house, which is very comfortable. In the future, I would like to live in a cozy small apartment because it is easy to clean up. I think so.
Okay, that's great. Very good, Trami. Okay, perfect again. Okay, excellent. Bao Ling.
Yes. When I was a kid, I live in in a dormitory area. That's my grandparent has lived for 20 years. And now I still live in the same place with my family. In the future, I would like to live in small apartment. I don't like a big place because it scares me, and I scare that the thief can invade in my house. And
Okay, okay, right.
and now I want my house to decorate with many pictures and the balcony surrounded by plants and flowers, and have enough technique like long dry folding or the automatic air. And yeah.
Okay,
I'm done.
okay. All right, thank you, Bao Ling. So Bao Ling, by the way, everyone, gave a good example of how you can use PPF to talk for longer. Okay, so she talked about in the future where she would like to live and how she would like to decorate her house. So you can see again how PPF is useful for filling up time. Okay. Because she talked about, obviously, the past. She used to live in a house that her grandfather had bought. She's still living in the house. And in the future, this is the sort of house she would like to live in. And just about everyone is doing this correctly. But remember, when you're talking about something in the future, you do need to say, in the future, I would like to. I would like to do this. I would like to live in. I would like to go. Okay, so I would like to, right, is how you use future tense. And again, most of you are doing that correctly. So that is, again, just to remind you that this is how you need to speak when you're talking about future tense. Okay, I hope, Bao Ling, that you don't live in a scary house in the future. Okay, yeah, me too. Okay, and Kang Ling.
Yes.
Thank you for being patient, Kang Ling.
And don't worry about that.
Okay. All right, Kang Ling, are you ready?
Of course. In the past, I lived in a big house with my grandparents and my parents. And after now, when I grow up, my family means my parents and I move out to another house because that's how we like my grandparents' house is far from my school, so I have to move out. And in the future, I would like to live in a big house with a small garden so that every afternoon I can enjoy the atmosphere with flower.
Okay, again, perfect. Kang Ling, excellent. Very good. So one more of these, everyone, just to make sure you have the idea. So this one, as you can see on the sheet, Kang Ling, I'm going to be starting with you. Okay, so you don't have to wait long this time. So this time, a memorable trip you have taken. A memorable trip you have taken. Okay, so you need to tell me about somewhere you have been in the past. Okay, again, this doesn't have to be long, everyone. It doesn't have to be long. Just one sentence will do for this one. Somewhere you've been in the past, somewhere that you have been. See, now this is a little bit where PPF becomes a bit difficult because, of course, when you're taking a trip, it means either something you have done in the past or something you're going to do in the future, because right now you are sitting in the lesson with me. So you are not taking a trip anywhere. So you need to do maybe a trip that you have done maybe a little while ago for the past one. For the now, for the present, maybe a trip you have done recently. And then, of course, for the future, somewhere you would like to visit, somewhere you would like to visit in the future. Does that make sense, Kang Ling?
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling, please tell me when you are ready to go. Okay, just give you a few seconds. You should be, like I say, everyone, do this off the top of your head. So the order this time, by the way, is Kang Ling, Bao Ling, Tra Mi, Tran Bao, Viet An, Nok Kien, and Fong Ling. Are you ready, Kang Ling?
I will a little struggle with the present because I don't have any ideas for the present too.
Doesn't have to be, okay, this is where you have to think quickly. Doesn't have to be a long trip, okay? Can maybe just be a trip you went to visit one of your relatives or something in the same neighborhood even, or a friend in the same neighborhood, okay? Okay, okay, okay. So whenever you're ready, please.
Okay, I will start now.
Yes.
In the past, the first trip to abroad is one of the most memorable trips. Is I went to Korea with my family for traveling.
Okay,
and
next.
Because it is the first time I go abroad. And in the present, now my memorable trip maybe is a picnic with my classmate last week. We go to a picnic areas and spend a day there together. And in the future, I want to travel to Australia, like New Zealand, maybe to enjoy another atmosphere and maybe to see you.
Okay, I look forward to that, Kang Ling. That would be great. So that was very good, Kang Ling. So you can see how easy it is to, to think of something. Okay, it's not that difficult. Okay, so they were three good examples of trips. You only made one, again, little mistake when you were talking about picnic. You used the word spend. Okay, and because it's in the past, of course, what should spend be?
Spend.
Correct. Should be spent, everyone. So spent is the past tense of spend. Okay, you talk about time you spend at the picnic. Instead, it should be spent at the picnic. But very small mistake, Kang Ling. So that was fine. Okay. Bao Ling. Sorry, Fong Ling. Sorry, I'll start again. Bao Ling. I was correct the first time. Bao Ling.
Okay. I would like to talk about my Da Nang trip. In the last 2 years that I went eat with my cousin. We took off the place in 6 p.m. Then my cousin ran a hotel to rest. In the beginning, in the next day, we take off a lot of photos. In Da Nang, it is a beautiful place that have many places you can visit to. The people is friendly too. They guide me a lot of the place that we can go. And in the evening of that day, my cousin and I go to the night market. That we bought a lot of souvenir and gift to and gift for my parents. And the next day we just spend at Da Nang to go to the beach and visit some place. That was
Okay, so
enjoyable.
sorry, Baoling, I'm going to interrupt you, okay, because what you are doing is good, but it's a bit too long for this exercise.
Sorry, because
okay?
I don't have any idea.
So if you don't have any idea, you remember, keep it simple. All right. So just give me one sentence, like I said at the start. Okay, just one sentence about each thing. All right. So in the past, we went to Da Nang and with my family, and that was a very memorable trip. Okay, one sentence. Recently, you can do the same sort of thing that Kang Ling did. Recently, last week, I went with my family. We went to a restaurant. All right, and where the food was very delicious. In the future, I would like to visit Japan because I'm very interested in Japanese culture.
Yes.
Okay, does that make sense, Baoling?
Yes.
Okay, so remember, keep it simple. Just one simple sentence for each and some example or explanation. And one more thing, Kang Ling, okay, please correct this sentence for me, which you said to me, which I wrote down. You said, we take off a lot of photos. We take off a lot of photos.
Oh, super. It's super.
Okay, and there's still one more correction to make. One word you don't need. One word you don't need. No, no, that's fine. That one is fine. Another one.
Don't need the off.
Correct. Okay. Okay. Can you give me the correct sentence then, please?
We took a lot of pictures.
Correct. Okay, perfect. We took a lot of pictures. We took a lot of pictures. Okay. Take off, remember, is something different. Like you take off your jacket. Take off. Okay, but you don't need to say that when you're taking a photo. Okay, thank you, Baoling. Trami.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready, Trami.
When I was a kid, I had a chance to visit Russia, and it was a memorable trip because I was lost for words when I came to it because of its Pinterest scenery. And up to now, I am going to an international music concert in the last of July to meet my favorite idol. And now I'm really looking forward to it. And in the future, I would like to study abroad to Australia to pursue a degree in fashion design.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Keep it nice and simple, Trami. Very good. One question, I didn't hear one word. How did you describe the scenery in Russia? What word did you use?
It's picturesque.
Correct. Okay, I didn't quite hear that. I thought you said something else, but picturesque is correct. Very good. And who is your favorite idol?
It's Blackpink.
Blackpink.
Korean, yes, Korean band.
Korean group. Okay, a Korean girl group. Even I have heard of them. Okay, they are very famous. Yeah. Okay, great. Hope you enjoy the concert. Okay, Tran Bao.
Yes, I'm here. I'm done.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, please, Tran Bao.
In the past, I used to say stay at home because I and my family was too lazy to travel or went for holiday. And in present, I have go to the Singapore for 1 week with my family. We have a lot of things we have done. We have things about Universal Studio, etc. Some a lot of photos. Like now, the grass we talk. So in the future, I want to have a trip to Korean to feel more busy, Korean things, and kind of people there.
Okay, Tran Bao, again, sorry, your internet connection isn't very clear, so I couldn't hear a lot of it. What I did hear sounded fine, though. Okay. And just one, again, tip to everyone. Tran Bao, I noticed you were reading off what you have written down, which is okay for practicing, but please, everyone, you will have to practice at some stage just talking to me, because of course, during an exam or a test, you won't have time to write your speech down. You will only have time to make a few notes. So it is best to try and start practicing that now. Like Kang Ling, I noticed, did before. Okay, because I didn't give Kang Ling much time to prepare. She had to talk to me off the top of her head without writing it down. That is what you are going to have to get used to for an exam or a test. So the sooner you can start practicing that, the better, everyone. Knock 2, I saw your message before, by the way, Knock 2. I will come to you shortly. But welcome to the class. Thank you, Knock 2. Next is Viet Ang. Viet Ang.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, whenever you're ready, please, Viet Ang.
In the spot, I went to Thailand, but I was very young, so I can't remember it. Recently, I have traveled to Korea. It gives me a lot of experience. In future, I want to travel to EU country as much as I can.
Okay, good. Very good, Viet Ang. You kept it simple. Okay. He kept it simple, which is all you need to do. Okay. He gave me very quick examples of past, present, future, and with one reason for each. That's all you need to do. Just one question, Viet Ang. One thing I will correct. I think you said to me in the future you want to travel to new what was the next word?
EU. It's
Yeah.
Euro country. Just.
Okay, please remember, EU or European, remember to, or European countries, either Europe, as Mrs. Ha is saying, or European countries. But if you're going to use country, just remember to clearly pronounce the S on the end. Okay, I didn't hear that the first time you said it. The S on the end, to make sure you're using the plural correctly. Okay, thank you, Viet Ang. Nok Kien. Hello, Nok Kien.
Kiên ơi. Mạng nó bị làm sao nhỉ? Kiên.
Can you hear me now, teacher?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, please.
Maybe I'm ready now.
Okay. Okay.
In the past, I have gone to Nghệ An. It's the first time I see the beach, and the first time try the fresh seafood too. In back to now, the near future, exactly it's the next Sunday. I will go to Thanh Hóa to escape the hot in Hanoi and visit some relatives. And And in the future, when I'm old, slow, and have some problem with my knees, I want to go to England because it's my whole dream. I must come there before I sleep in the coffin. No.
Okay. All right. That is a very interesting picture in my mind, not Kian. All right. So you have some good reasons. Just want to correct a couple of your English phrases. You said in the past, I have gone to Hoi An. Okay. That isn't quite a grammatically correct sentence. Do you know how to correct that, Kian? You said to me, in the past, I have gone to Hoi An.
Well, the correct way is somewhere in my mind, but I can't
Yeah.
find it.
Okay. You say, in the past, I went to Hoi An. Okay. In the past, I went to Hoi An. In the past, I have gone to Hoi An doesn't make sense. Okay, it's not grammatically correct. So in the past, I went to Hoi An. Okay, and one more sentence you said, I want to escape the hot in Hanoi. Okay, which word is incorrect in that sentence? I want to escape the hot in Hanoi.
Maybe
one word is incorrect. One word is incorrect.
Maybe it's in.
Okay, it is hot. It is hot.
Okay.
What should hot be? So hot is
Heat.
not correct in the sentence.
Heat.
Sorry?
No.
Yes, heat. Heat. Okay. I want to escape the heat in Hanoi. Heat in
Yeah, I'm
Hanoi.
trying to be calm, and maybe I will fix it in the future.
Okay, good. Oh, that's good. That's fine. Don't worry, because that's why you're doing these lessons, so you can learn. Okay, so please don't worry about making mistakes in these lessons. This is how you learn. So I've said this again to everyone, never be worried about making a mistake in these lessons. Everyone makes mistakes. And usually that's the best way to learn, because then you remember. Okay, we are almost getting to you. Okay, knock 2. But first of all, Feng Ling. Thank you for being so patient, Feng Ling.
Yes.
Oh.
In the past, I was traveled to Cambodia for a few days with my family. We took a lot of pictures with Angkor Wat, a unique temple printed on the national flag of Cambodia. It became my memorable trip because Cambodia was so hot and Angkor Wat was beautiful and bigger than I thought.
Is that the end?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, your connection broke up a little bit then. But what I heard sounded fine, Feng Ling. Okay, that was fine. Thank you. Actually, I've been to Angkor Wat too. Very, very impressive, isn't it? Yeah, it's very great. Okay, knock 2. Welcome to class, knock 2. Okay, nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Okay, knock 2. So hopefully by now you've understood what we are doing. So can you do the exercise for me, please? A memorable trip.
In the past, I have a trip with my family to a Vietnamese jungle, but I can remember what the name of the jungle. A forest and not jungle, a forest. Because I'm too young, so when the night coming, I was afraid the night and I scared the ghost coming, so I cry a lot. I think this is the most thing I remember with my childhood.
Okay, next.
And now I have one of the best summer of all life. Because this the time I spend more time to help my family. Also I enjoy the football match every week. So and I have a little bit time to learn something like guitar, guitar, drawing, And in the future, I have my dream. I have my dream is come to England. Come to England to watch Liverpool football match. I'm done.
Okay, that's fine. So I will just correct one thing, Noctu.
Yes.
Sorry, Noctu, can you hear me? Sorry, you. Oh,
I-
now I can see you. Suddenly you disappeared off my screen for some reason, but you are back now. That's fine. In the future, I will go to England. Go.
Yeah.
I just correct that. Okay, so it's always you use go when you are going away from your home. Okay.
Yes.
You use come when someone is coming towards you to
Oh,
your home. Does that make sense?
I understand.
Yeah, so in the future, I will go to England. I want to see Liverpool play. In the future, I will go to France because I want to see Paris. In the future, my cousin will come to Hanoi to visit me. You see the difference?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, good. Okay, so come is when they are coming towards you. Go is when you are going away somewhere. All right, everyone. So again, thank you for your efforts for that. So hopefully you have all got the idea now of how past, present, future works as a strategy when answering part 2. So the other thing to remember, as I said at the beginning, is this is good for many topics, but it will not work for all topics. So in the 1 minute, and I'm referring now to the Ielts speaking test, part 2, you have 1 minute to prepare. You will have to decide very quickly whether PPF will work for the topic or whether it will not, or maybe it will work for part of the topic or not. Okay, so just remember it won't, it's a very useful strategy for being able to fill up 2 minutes, but it won't work for every topic. And you will have to judge that at the time. Are there any questions about that? Okay, so we have just a little under 20 minutes left. What I'm going to do for the rest of this lesson is very quickly remind all of you how the speaking test works, okay, and some of the strategies that you should keep in mind. Some of the strategies that you should keep in mind. Strategies is a formal word for plan. Some of the plans you should keep in mind when you're answering the different parts of the speaking test. So I will go very quickly through these because we have less than 20 minutes. And of course, most of you will be familiar with these already. But for those of you who are not, it will serve as a useful reminder and also revision, I hope, as to the sort of things you need to keep in mind when you are doing the Ielts speaking test. Okay, so very quickly, part one. Part one of the speaking test is when the examiner will ask you questions, all right? And there are no difficult topics in part one. They will just ask you questions about you, about your hometown. What do you study? What do you like to do in your spare time? What's your favorite color? That sort of thing. Easy questions. Easy questions. So you don't need to worry too much about part one, what you are going to be asked. You should be able to answer them easily. You don't need to worry about the clothes you're wearing. Don't worry. Sometimes you will find the examiner can be a little bit formal, maybe seeming unfriendly. Don't worry about that. Okay, just act your natural self. The things always to concentrate on in any speaking test are, of course, your pronunciation, your fluency. Can you keep talking and making sense? Your coherence, which means are you answering the question they asked you, and do the words you are using make sense? Your vocabulary and your grammar. These are the things you are marked on. I'm sure most of you know this already. All right. Common mistakes that people make in part one, answering a question with only 1 or 2 words. And the opposite is also true. Some people talk for too long. Very easy to do sometimes when you're nervous. You talk for too long. You only want to talk 2 or 3 sentences at the most. Robotic delivery. Remember, you need to be talking naturally, okay? Not talking like a robot, okay? Not talking like you were just reading off a piece of paper. You need to remember to talk naturally. Try not to memorize answers. Of course, you can think in your mind, if he asks me what color is my favorite color, I will say blue. You can think that, but please don't try to memorize a complete answer. The examiners are trained to listen for this. A memorized answer doesn't sound natural. Okay, so again, these are things I mentioned in the past. Just be natural, like you're talking to someone you know. What we've just done in the exercise I've done with you, give reasons, explanations, examples for things. Don't just say, I like chocolate. Why do you like chocolate? Okay, tell them why you like chocolate. I want to go to Japan. Why do you want to go to Japan? Okay, give a reason for something. Okay. And again, these are practice questions. Again, I won't practice these with you because you can all do these already, but these are the sort of questions you might be asked in part one. Like I said, they are very easy, simple questions. Where do you live? Is there something you don't like about where you live? Are you planning to move somewhere new in the future? Okay, very simple questions. Do you like tea or coffee? Very easy. And obviously, you need to say why or why not. Okay, part 2 of the speaking test, which is what we've just been doing now. And you know the goal is to speak fluently and coherently for up to 2 minutes about a topic. And again, remember, fluently means to be able to keep going. Coherently means what you are saying makes sense and also answers the question. So problems students have with part 2, well, they can't speak fluently and coherently for up to 2 minutes. If you come to all my classes, okay, this won't be a problem for you because already, as you have done today, you will be getting practice with speaking fluently and coherently. And like I was saying before, don't be scared to make mistakes because that is the best way to learn. Okay, repeating the same ideas. Okay, repeating yourself. You don't want to repeat yourself. Bullet points, we'll get to those in just a moment. Sometimes students worry about part 2. What if they ask me something I don't know? Okay, now this would be very rare. The topics for the Ielts test are chosen so that everyone, they are all topics you will have some knowledge of. Okay, you will not be asked, for example, to explain how a nuclear power station works. Okay, you will be asked something that you will be familiar with from your education. Okay, from the education, from the school experience you've already had, from the life experience you've already had. The topics are chosen deliberately for this. So you won't be asked something that you know nothing about. Okay, so just a quick look now at common strategies. I'm going through this quite fast. I'm going to read it instead of you because we only have 10 minutes left. All right, so this is an example of a part 2 speaking task. Okay, these are the bullet points. Where you got it from, how long you've had it, what you use it for, why it's important to you. So, one strategy for answering this question, and it's a very common one, is that students will look at each bullet point in turn and try to say something about each one. Now, the problem with this strategy is that very quickly, most people run out of things to say if you are trying to answer these bullet points in order. Obviously, if you are talking about something like knock two.
Yes.
Knock two. What is something that's important to you? What's something?
Family.
Family. Okay, that's a good one. All right, but in this case, because of these questions, you maybe need to talk about something different from family. Talk about some possession.
My important thing is my phone.
Okay, good. Yep, that will do. Phone. Okay, so phone is a good one. Many people will say phone. Okay, where did you get your phone from? Okay, you can answer that in one sentence. Okay, how long have you had it? You can also answer that in one sentence, can't you? What do you use it for? I guess you use your phone for looking at the internet, for making phone calls, for sending messages. Is that correct, Noctu?
Yes, it's correct.
Yeah, okay. And so again, you can see how quickly I have answered those questions. In about 10 seconds, I can answer those 3 bullet points, which leaves you 1 minute 50, okay, to do the last part. So you can see what the problem with the strategy of just going through each bullet point is and trying to give a long answer. Some of them you just can't, okay? So we will get to this, the answer to that in just a moment. So that is the problem with strategy 1, answering the bullet points in order and trying to give a long answer for each bullet point doesn't work usually. Strategy 2 or plan 2 is what we have just discussed during this lesson, past, present, future, PPF. Okay, and as I have already said and we have discussed, it doesn't work for every topic. Can't work for every topic. So what do we do? What do we do? Okay. First thing is make sure you understand the topic sentence. Okay, quickly look at each bullet point. So for this one, something that's important to you. So if you choose your phone, okay, you know very quickly that you can only talk about these 3 bullet points here for a few seconds. Doesn't take you long to answer those. So you need to think of other things related to the topic. You don't need to talk about each bullet point. Viet Ang, what did I say? Viet Ang?
Yes.
What did I say? What did I just say?
You say in point.
What did I say? I said, okay, see if someone else was listening. Kang Ling.
Yes.
What did I just say about bullet points, Kang Ling?
About the point.
Yeah. What did I just say?
Is the point that no.
This is very important. Okay, very important you all understand this. Trami, what did I just say about bullet points?
You say that you should quickly assess each bullet point.
Yeah, and the most important thing, the last thing I said was
don't need to talk about the bullet point.
yes. Okay, everyone, please remember this and write it down. Okay, you don't need to talk about each bullet point. You don't need to talk about each bullet point. Feng Ling, what did I just say?
You don't need to talk about open type.
You don't need to talk about each bullet point. Okay, you don't. Okay, you don't need to talk about each bullet point. Please remember this. If you just look at each bullet point and try to talk about each one, maybe for 10 seconds, a lot of the time it won't work. What you need to do is look at the topic, okay, which in this case is describe something you own that's important to you, and then think of other things related to the topic you can talk about. For example, using Knock 2's example of a mobile phone, I could talk about a time I used the mobile phone that helped to save someone's life. I could talk about a time I got to use the mobile phone was when I went to Hoi An for the first time, and I used my mobile phone to take photos of all the interesting things in Hoi An. And the most interesting picture I took was of the fisherman casting his fishing net out of the small boat in the water beside Hoi An. Feng Ling, does this make sense to you, what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in other words, I'm not talking about where I got it from or how long I've had it. What I'm talking about here is what I used it for. So I'm still talking about the topic, okay? Something I own, which is important to me, which is my mobile phone, but I am filling up my talk with how I've used it. Okay, Feng Ling, does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now, and this is much easier to talk about and much easier to fill up 2 minutes than just trying to answer each bullet point. Hang Ling,
Yes.
does this make sense to you?
Yes.
The example I've given, okay? I'm talking about my mobile phone, but I'm talking about things I have used it for in the past. And maybe it's brought back some happy memory I can talk about, or maybe it's brought back some sad memory, but I can talk about that. But I'm still talking about the mobile phone. Okay, so I'm not talking about each bullet point in order, but I am talking about something that I own that's important to me. And remember, what the examiner is listening for is your English. Okay, they're not so much interested in your story. What they are listening for is how you use English to tell that story. So again, everyone, please remember this. You don't need to talk about each bullet point. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. If you do end up talking about the bullet points, you can do it in any order you like. Okay, you don't have to do it in the order that is on the topic card. Okay, so that is the one thing, everyone, I want you to take away from this lesson this morning. Okay, you don't need to talk about the bullet point. Tran Bao, what did I just say?
You don't have to talk about each bullet point
Correct.
anymore.
Thank you. Thank you, Viet. Thank you. Viet An, what did I say?
You say a person.
What did I say about the bullet points, Viet An?
I don't need to say a lot of eat up bullet points. Yes.
Okay, you got the idea. You don't need to talk about each bullet point on the topic card they give you. Knock 2. What did I say?
You don't need to talk about the bullet point.
Correct. Okay. So again, using your example of the mobile phone, knock 2, what I would talk about is things I have used my mobile phone for, experiences, photos. Does that make sense, knock 2?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the sort of thing you need to have in your mind when you are doing the speaking test part 2. Is there anyone who has any question about that? Okay. Hey, everyone, that is the lesson for today. Thank you very much for attending the lesson. For those of you who can't I see, Viet An, can you turn your phone on, please? I can't see you. Okay, that's better. Thank you, Viet An. Okay, so again, thank you for coming to the lesson this morning. I hope you found it valuable. I hope, please, you will remember the main point, which was, and again, I will repeat this because it's very important, speaking test 2, you don't need to talk about all the bullet points on the topic card, okay? You just need to talk about the topic. Just talk about the topic. And again, that doesn't mean you don't talk about the bullet points if they are useful, but you don't need to. So when you get a topic card, look at them and look at the bullet points, look at the main topic and just think, how can I talk about this? That is the important thing. And that is the thing, please remember from this lesson. You don't need to talk about the bullet points. You just need to talk about the main topic. And the example in this case was mobile phone. Okay, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming to the lesson. I hope you can stay cool for the rest of today. I hope you have a good week. As always, any questions you have about the lessons, please either ask Mrs. Ha, you can ask me, or please send me an email. You should all have my email address. So have a wonderful week, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Bye, everyone.
Okay.